Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on What If Peter Parker Became the Punisher, issue number 1. Now, given the fact this is set in a what if continuity, the story is like saying, what if Peter Parker had became something like Frank Castle, aka the Punisher? So the cover actually is meant to reference the first issue from 1986 of the Punisher comics, instead with Spider-Man and all that. So it starts off how, much like in the main Marvel continuity, a spider ends up biting Peter Parker, ends up having all these amazing powers, and the fight promoter is like saying, with that act of yours, I can make us a fortune on TV, and play up that mask act. It's great showmanship. And so we see Uncle Ben and Aunt May giving Peter some food. We see Peter pretty much having a good life until the fateful day, like most continuity saying, "Stop, thief! Don't let him get away! Don't let him get to the elevator! Sorry, pal, that's your job." And so, much like, choosing power over responsibility, Peter ends up finding out that Uncle Ben's been shot, and goes to confront the guy who shot his parents. With him saying, "Gotta hold them off until the moon goes up. Then I'll be able to slip away in the dark." What the? And so Peter's costume is maybe like a Punisher version, and even confronts the mugger, with Ned Leeds saying, "If I can just get it close enough for a pic, this will be front page material." So he ends up shooting the person who killed Uncle Ben, and Ned Leeds ends up falling and ends up being rescued by Spider-Man. So it ends up with Peter blaming himself and saying that he won't let anything happen like this again. So he ends up fighting the Vulture, even having a job at the Daily Bugle, with Jameson posting pictures of Spider-Man, while pretty much taking on supervillains. And in this continuity, Peter doesn't stop other crimes, but says, "Fine, let the scum kill each other." And Peter ends up confronting the villains, who in this continuity end up getting murdered by Peter Parker, like Electro, Kraven, Mysterio, Doc Ock, Vulture, and Sandman. And even Peter Parker eventually graduating and meeting Harry, saying, "I'm Harry Osborn, your new roommate. Welcome to the Empire State University, Parker." Now, I kind of prefer the other continuities about them being school friends, because I feel like the college thing just kind of seems like it wanted to do it, but didn't. So we see Peter being amazed by Gwen Stacy, and other gang wars and such. So we see Peter, Harry, Gwen, and MJ having an awkward moment, and Gwen saying, "Peter Parker, don't you ever try to pull the wool over my eyes like you did on MJ in there. Wouldn't think of it, Gwen." So, pretty much like in the main Marvel continuity, Green Goblin finds out who Peter Parker is, and ends up with Spider-Man tackling him down. Well, it looks like Norman's lost his memories. It ends up with the Green Goblin regaining them, even kidnapping Gwen, and in this continuity having the whole bridge scene, but with Peter killing the Green Goblin instead of throwing him in the glider, and with Peter rescuing Gwen, which actually would make more sense, because I know it was a bit more sudden. And it ends up with Peter helping Gwen, with Gwen saying, "Huh, Peter? Yes, it's me. You saved me." And so after this, we see that Harry's identifying Norman Osborn's body, and much like in most Spider-Man stuff, he ends up blaming Spider-Man. So we see Peter talking with Gwen and wanting to make things better again. So after this, he gives up being Spider-Man and eventually throws his costume away, saying, "I chose a path of love, not vengeance." And so it ends up with Peter basically going to live his new life with Gwen. And in the same universe, history repeats itself with Frank Castle's family getting shot, and ends up with him finding the Spider-Man costume, implying that he's going to become the new Punisher. So the story, actually not too bad. I'd say it's interesting to see Peter Parker as what he would have been like if he chose power over responsibility. And given the fact this is set in a what-if continuity, I doubt Peter would end up becoming like this. So by the end of it, it's still a good comic, and still tells a good story. So it deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still right. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.